Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappola and John Molori.
Oh, yeah, and welcome indeed to the Great American Collectibles Show. But, you heard two names in that opening. There's only one here for this moment anyway. Tom Zappola has escaped the snow, and as I'm looking out my window right here, there is snow here in New England, and Zap just got out of town the day before it hit. That snow bunny or whatever the heck you want to call him is gone. So I am manning the ship. In just a moment, I'm going to be joined by my co-host for today. That is Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions. But first, as our wonderful intro said, here is your headline, brought to you by our friends at Sport Collectors Daily. Get the hobby news 24/7 at sportscollectorsdaily.com. And our news for today, we'll have more when we bring Derek in as well. PSA graded more than 770,000 cards in December, up 6% from November, according to GemRate. That's an average of over 25,000 cards per day. On 3 days last month, the company's team worked through over 40,000 cards. Modern cards are still dominating the list, what PSA is processing, while gaming cards are still the most popular submission. The company graded over 229,000 basketball, over 147,000 baseball, and over 114,000 football cards in December, mostly from products issued over the last couple of years. Cards of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, John Morant, Zion Williamson, and Luis Robert continued to dominate the list of most submitted players, with 2019-20 Prism, Mosaic, and Chronicles basketball, 2020 Mosaic football, and 2020 Topps baseball leading the list of the specific sets that was seen most often by graders. So that's good news with PSA starting to grade cards. And of course, get all of your hobby news, as we said, 24/7 at sportscollectorsdaily.com. I'm going to bring in my co-host for the week now, our friend Derek Grady. Derek.
Hey, John.
So great to have you here. I want to remind everyone, we are not today, we're remote today, but we do broadcast from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, part of the United Podcast Network. You can watch the show, Great American Collectibles Show, on the PSA Facebook page or the Great American Collectibles Show Facebook page, iHeartRadio, Alexa, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and in Boston, and on the web also at 980 WCAP Radio. Like us and subscribe on YouTube, and please share. That is the begging for this part of the show. We want people to listen to us. We're everywhere. Just search. I hear Zap say all the places we are. Derek, just search Great American Collectibles Show.
Yeah.
You'll find what's going on, my man. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, no problem. I braved a few inches of snow to get in here to New Jersey and be able to get here on time. So I didn't have to phone in from the car or off the side of the road.
You are down in Jersey. What are you getting from? By the way, we're taping this on the Friday, the 7th. The show is airing following Wednesday, so there may not be snow when you're listening to us. We're getting our first real snowfall of the season. What do you guys have down there, Derek?
3 to 6, but I've got an SUV. I don't even think about it. I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I'm used to the snow, so it's, hey, you know what? In a strange way, I prefer it. There's less cars on the road.
That's right.
Everybody, all the weenies stay home. Derek goes to work. It's good. So
and the really big weenies go to Florida.
Oh, Zach? Yeah, he's total baby. Who knows what he's doing right now? Ellen's roasting marshmallows for him on the fire and rubbing his feet.
He'll be texting sure that he's drinking a martini and lighting up a cigar on the deck and all that stuff.
Absolutely. So, that's what he does.
Throughout the show, we need to just make fun of him. I know you're good at that. You do that pretty much.
That's one of my favorite pastimes. That's a New Year's resolution to continue that. Yeah.
So listen, as a little bit of an addendum, we're going to throw it around a little bit today, throw out some sports topics. Obviously, we're going to talk about collectibles. Mike Provenzale from Heritage is scheduled to join us in our second set. We're going to talk about what you have going on at Heritage. So much happening. You have a couple of big auctions coming up for January and February. So we'll definitely get to that. But kind of an extension of the news here, Derek, is this past week, I'm just going to read a little blurb here. Global sports retailer, merchandiser, and now sports card and memorabilia giant Fanatics has acquired Topps Trading Cards. The company announced this past Tuesday. The deal includes Topps Collectables arm, both physical and digital. The value of the deal is in the $500 million range. This is from ESPN and confirmed by multiple reports. So let's talk about that a little bit as someone who's been in the business a long time. We've heard talk about this before. What does this mean for Topps? What does this mean for the industry and one of the biggest names in the industry?
Well, I mean,
in your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so we were all saddened to see Topps lose their baseball license and their sport, their licenses to produce cards. I mean, that's the name everybody knows in the business. It's the iconic brand, right?
Right.
So even anybody, my mom, they heard, if you can name one baseball card manufacturer, it's going to be Topps, right?
Sure.
And some people would
the
say
epitome of the word household name. It's a household name. Yeah.
So when they lost their license, it was like, oh boy, there goes the Topps brand. Ruben was obviously a brilliant businessman in sports, what he's done with Fanatics and their growth, obviously. And he realized he bought Topps. So now you're bringing back the Topps Chrome and, all the Bowman Chrome and some of the great Topps brands. And he can start producing those cards because Topps still has their license for a few more years. So now Fanatics doesn't have to wait. They bought Topps. Okay. And now they can start producing those iconic brands and come out swinging right off the bat. And I'm sure with, their apparel and in stadiums and their digital and their, they're everywhere. I just feel like they're going to take this to another level, collecting in the, 2022 and beyond. And who knows what they have up their sleeve, but this guy knows what he's doing. I think he's going to, I don't know who he's retaining at Topps, but he has some new guys on his staff, and they're going to do a great job. And I'm just glad that the brand, so the Topps brand is saved, and I'm sure they'll bring back some of those iconic brands would be my prediction. So we might not see now that they bought Topps, we might not see a huge difference in what people would have expected.
Yeah, and from this report, it said all of the approximately 350 global Topps sports and entertainment employees will shift over and seamlessly integrate into Fanatics trading cards.
Wow,
the big note here is this deal that happened over the last 10 days or so.
Yeah.
The deal means Fanatics trading cards, MLB and MLB BPA rights to design, manufacture, and distribute trading cards, which was originally slated to start in 2026.
Yeah.
It's going to begin immediately.
Correct.
So
that was the key here.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. And that's what I thought was going to happen. Once he got here's the thing too. Keep in mind, Topps was ready to issue an IPO, and their market price, I think, was $1 billion. He just bought the licenses and then bought the company for $500 million.
Right.
Just saved 50 cents on the dollar and got the company anyway. I mean, brilliant move. If you think this is it for them, it's not going to be. I don't know what else Fanatics has up their sleeves, but I mean, they are aggressive, and we'll see. We'll see.
Well, you think about, and this is a global thing because Topps also has the rights to Formula One, UEFA, Major League Soccer. I mean, a lot of European soccer and stuff. So this is a global deal. It has long-term rights deals with the NBA and NFL Players Association as well. I think there are purists that are afraid of this. As you said, Topps is the name. I kind of liken it many, many years back when Fox Network got the NFL, and everyone thought that Bart Simpson was going to be calling NFL games, you know what I mean? And Al Bundy would be doing the halftime show. And it didn't work out that way. They've done a great job with the NFL.
Well,
I kind of see that as this too.
And look who they brought in right away. What did Fox do? Madden and Summerall.
That's right.
And that's what, and look what, and we'll get on, and we should probably talk about John Madden.
We will. We're going to talk at length about Madden.
But Ruben bought Topps. The employees are there. He's going to do his own, with his people with design. I mean, I think it's going to be a good thing, but it was huge for the purist that the Topps brand and the iconic, things they had with Stadium Club and Chrome and Bowman Chrome and Finest, they will keep those alive, I'm sure. and you won't. And if anything, we're going to have more people in the business, more people in the hobby. If you can buy packs at the stadium where Fanatics things are sold, and
Right.
digital and the NFTs and stuff. I mean, and the bigger this base gets, the better it is for all of us that are experts
No
in this
question.
industry.
I think it's going to be good for the business. So we talked a little bit about, before the show about COVID, and we're kind of in the middle of it again, a surge, if you will, with Omicron and that stuff. And don't want to spend a ton of time on that. But the good news is I saw this on the NSCC show Instagram, that VIP packages are selling quickly for the National.
Sure.
That's, coming up this summer. And the general admission officially went on sale last month. It's been off the charts. nsccshow.com for more information. It's July 27th to the 31st in Atlantic City. So we're hoping that happens. They're hoping that we get through this surge. Yeah, it's definitely going to. I mean, if it happened this past year, you got to hope it happens this year. So
yeah, I mean, look, the Omicron, it's proven, cases have gone up, but deaths have gone down proportionally. It seems to be lightning. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, by the way, I don't know.
You're not? I always thought you were. I was ready to tell you my arm hurts a little bit. So
I think they said, after 90 days to curb the spread or whatever it was. Now we're on 3 years, and it's nothing's changed. And now you need 3 boosters or 7 boosters.
Right.
So nobody knows exactly what's happening. I think we're all learning to live with this and deal with it. And and at the end of the day, stay home.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like coming out, stay home. But don't tell me what to do. And wear a mask. And if you want to go out, wear a mask. Do what your doctor tells you to do. And I think, look, in Chicago was absolutely a record, right there in one of the best attended nationals ever. Okay.
Yeah.
That was during a pandemic. The people are going to come to Atlantic City. They're going to come in. I mean, of course, unless, knock on wood, and I pray this doesn't happen, but a worse variant. It seems like the variants are lessening, not getting, so I'm hoping that we should be fine. New Jersey, it's a blue state, but hopefully they won't have draconian laws that keep people in. It should be fine. It's in the summer. It should be fine. Let's just hope it is, because it's going to be. I mean, look, I've heard more complaints about Atlantic City as a hosting place because people don't love Atlantic City anymore, right? But I am telling you, I don't care where they put this national.
Yeah,
I had a good time at the last Atlantic City National. I think it's a fine place, but a lot of people are like,
I went to the last one too with Zap and Ellen, and I hadn't been to Atlantic City in about 15 years. I thought it was great.
It was. So awesome. I don't know
Yeah.
what the naysayers are saying. Maybe it's just because Atlantic City is not the in thing anymore. Vegas surpassed it, obviously with the casinos and stuff. But, I think it's a fine place, and it's going to be another record for Brogy and crew.
Yeah. Let's get into some topics here. And again, you're watching the Great American Collectibles Show on the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, United Network. Just freaking Google us and you will find us wherever you are. Radio up here in Boston and online at WCAP 980. We're talking with Derek Grady, who's kind of filling in for Tom Zappala this week as my co-host. We're going to throw out a bunch of topics, maybe get some lists going later on and all that. But you mentioned, and I want to get to a couple of things as we surge toward our first break in about 10 minutes or so. You mentioned John Madden when we started talking a little bit about Fox. Passed away this past week. Sort of tri-level legend in football, if you will. Started as a coach.
Larger than life.
Still has the greatest winning percentage for a coach that coached at least 100 games, which is unbelievable. And we'll get into it, because those teams he coached in Oakland, those were hard teams to coach. There were some personalities on that team,
there was.
Those 2 years, and he did great things with them. And then obviously segued into broadcasting almost accidentally. Didn't really want to do it, but tried it, liked it. And then, of course, they put his name on the video game and his voice and his persona, and that's going to be ongoing. That'll last forever. So I just want to get your impressions on Madden. Let's talk about him a little bit, and just get your initial thoughts when you heard he had passed.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, he's larger than life, total character. If you remember, he did some of the commercials too, some beer commercials.
Where the light beer, sure.
Yeah, the light beer. So, I didn't.
Acton, yeah, he was all over the place.
Yeah, and so I started watching football, becoming a Dallas Cowboy, religious Dallas Cowboy fan in like 1979, Staubach's last year, and that's my idol. But so I don't remember Madden as a coach. My first introduction to John Madden would have been him ex-coach crashing through the whatever it was, the poster board, whatever he crashed through to break through. And, and he, funny guy. And, obviously the announcing career, and always knew he was like the victim of the Immaculate Reception, when that happened in Three Rivers, and watched him go off on the sidelines, saying it was touched.
Flailing the arms.
Yeah, absolutely. So, he had some great teams. And like you said about the characters he had, Kenny the Snake Stabler, Dave the Ghost Casper, Jack the Assassin Tatum, Ted Hendricks the Stork. I mean, all these guys were, personnel, lots of Hall of Famers on those teams. Great teams are always seem to be in the AFC Championship game or right there. He did win a Super Bowl, and he does have the highest winning percentage, which a lot of people don't know, of a coach that's coached at least 100 games or 100 wins or something. He has the highest percentage. So I'm not even sure what some people said it was the Darryl Stingley hit.
Yeah.
That maybe chased him out. I don't know if it was working for Al Davis. I'm not sure, but really, so I got to know Madden, more as an announcer and how he was, and he'd say what he needed to say and kind of dumb it down for us.
Yeah.
Say funny things. And, I wasn't a big video game guy, but tons of people swore by, the Madden brand video games.
Yeah.
And you hear Randy Moss talk about it. You hear a lot of those players talk about playing Madden games. So I think, I did hear a reporter say, so anyway, with his broadcasting and everything he's done as an ambassador for the sport, I mean, I definitely think, it hit everybody, and they should either name the All-Pro team after him because he had the All Madden team for tough guys. Yeah. And I would love to see them name something after him, whether it's the All-Pro team or the Pro Bowl or, something.
I think that's a great idea. And I did see him as a coach. I mean, I'm 56, so I came into football 75, 76, so sort of the tail end of his coaching career as a Patriots fan. And of course, they beat the Patriots in the 76 playoffs, the famous roughing the passer call. And then the Stingley thing happened in the summer of 78, it was a preseason game. And that struck me as a 12-year-old Patriots fan, seeing that. It's the first time I had seen a guy get hit. We kind of see it a little too often now. But it really struck me.
That was preseason.
Yeah, preseason game.
That was a nasty hit for a preseason.
And it was said afterward that kind of soured him a little bit on the game. I don't know if it's why he stopped coaching, but I think it played a role in it. But, we look at what happened with like Antonio Brown this week, and he's known as a character. I don't know if he doesn't have character, but he's known as a character.
Yeah.
And you think about what Madden was able to do with those teams, Tuzak and this Sistrom, you mentioned Stabler, a lot of other guys, to keep them together. And you never really heard anything like this or saw anything like that happen, where the guys stormed off. That's great coaching. I mean, that's great coaching. Yeah, they were great players, no doubt. But to keep that group together and keep them focused to win as many games as they did. And this is from someone who hated the Raiders, by the way. That's awesome coaching.
Sure. Don't you feel like it was more of a team game that now
I do.
Guys are getting their own endorsements? They're looking for records. What was Brown? Brown was complaining that he wasn't getting the ball enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what his spin was his injury. But you can tell, look, he wants the ball. Everybody wants the ball. And it's like, guys, it's about winning.
That's right.
I feel like, it's a team sport. Now you got individual endorsements. You've got obviously you got the contracts. They all want paid as much as possible. He needs to realize he already had 3 strikes. So he needs to shut up and just play because he's melted down everywhere. And then somebody said, I saw Strahan say, that's great. There's a ton of memes going around. It's funny, but this is a man's life. He obviously needs help. He's rich, so people aren't going to feel sorry for him. He's had a ton of chances. Because I saw somebody say, look, you deserve a second chance. Okay, this is like the 5th one. So I don't know what NFL team would want him. Maybe a USFL team will take him. I don't know, because that's a league that's coming up, and they've got some coaches, and they got some money behind them. Who knows? But either way, somebody also said to me, what about CTE? Is he and I don't want to blame everything.
I heard that too. Right.
But we had crazy people before CTE. We had bad apples before CTE. I don't want everything getting blamed for CTE. Because he seems to know what he's doing. He seems to play well. I think he's just a big baby and Brady didn't look his way enough, and he decided that, okay, I'm not, but that was bizarre. I've never seen anything like that.
Someone
And
texted me and I hadn't seen it yet.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, did he just, yell at someone, or was he videoing something? And when I saw it, I'm like, wow, that was just a complete and total meltdown.
And so think about the guys that I've taken their collections, the Brooks Robinsons, the Al Kalines, the Mike Eruzionis, guys like that. And it's like, they would never tolerate in a team sport, guys like that. I don't even know if they've ever seen anything like that. It's definitely it's changed. And those guys would not want somebody like that on the team when it's all about an individual. I don't even think Brady doesn't make it all about himself.
Yeah.
And, he's oh my God, he's, all these endorsements coming out of his own brands, 7 times, all these Super Bowls, everything he's done. And Tom Brady still plays for the team. I don't even think he pays attention to his numbers. They always end up being really good. But is he out there trying to win the MVP? Is he I think he wants a great team.
Yeah.
I think he's a team player.
And that's what gets me about Brown is that he's got this guy in his corner. I mean, he's got Brady in his corner. Like, you have the greatest player, one of the greatest ambassadors, one of the greatest leaders of all time in your corner, and you're screwing him over. You know what I mean?
Because this is a first ballot Hall of Famer with his numbers in Pittsburgh. He was on the way to the Hall of Fame.
And I want to pick this up later in the show, because I want to segue this discussion on him to collectibles and how we talk about the speculative nature of modern card collecting, right? And how it's so fickle and can be fickle. But we're going to take a break right now. You are listening and watching the Great American Collectibles Show. John Molori, Derek Grady, scheduled to join us in the next segment. Mike Provenzale from Heritage Auction. So come on back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi everyone, I'm Rico Petroselli, and I'm very excited to talk to you about our new partner, Panini America. Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we're proud to have them as the official trading card of the Great American Collectibles Show. When it comes to modern trading cards of your favorite players, Panini America leads the way in terms of innovation, design, creativity, value, and fun. From landmark brands such as Donruss, Prism, and Contenders to high-end juggernauts like Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate, Panini America delivers the hottest trading cards of the biggest names in the NBA, NFL, MLB, PA, NASCAR, soccer, and college. When you want to collect the best, collect Panini America. Ask for it at your local hobby shop or at mass retailers like Target and Walmart. And you can always find Panini America online at icollectpanini.com. Panini America. Who do you collect? How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. GACS.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
And broadcasting from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, part of the United Podcast Network, this is the Great American Collectibles Show. John Molori, along with Derek Grady, filling in for Tom Zappola, who got a little bit cold, saw the snow coming, and said, I better escape to Florida as quickly as I possibly can. That's the kind of man we're talking about. I'm just kidding. We miss him much. We really do. Don't we, Derek? Do we?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're still talking about him a lot. We're still talking about him. Hopefully he's watching, so we'll now have 8 viewers as opposed to 7. So
you can watch the Great American Collectibles Show and listen to us on the PSA Facebook page, our own Facebook page, iHeartRadio, Alexa, Spotify, 980 WCAP up here in the Boston area on radio and online. And go to YouTube and please click on subscribe and share with your friends. We would appreciate it. Again, John Molori, Derek Grady, and joining us now also from Heritage Auctions. We're going to talk about what's going on with Heritage. You guys have a lot coming up early in 2022 and throughout the year. Mike Provenzale. Mike, thanks for joining us. Good to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Pleasure as always.
And you don't mind sharing the spotlight with Derek? You're not sick of him or anything like that? Everything's cool with that?
I mean, I am, but probably everybody else is ready for him to take a break. It's nice to see him in his natural environment, though, there. Usually I only see him in Dallas, and he looks slightly professional. So this is Derek at home, as is.
Correct.
Derek at home, waiting to see where the Cowboys end up in the playoffs.
Same.
Which we'll talk about in a second. Oh my God, I'm surrounded by 2 Cowboys.
Well, he lives in Dallas.
Oh, so you're in Dallas. Okay, all right. That's fine. That's fine. I will say,
good Americans.
Along with you, Derek, that Roger Staubach, to me, before the whole Brady came along, to me, he was the best quarterback who ever lived.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. No, I thought he was the best quarterback I ever saw before Tom Brady. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking everything into account, running, throwing, clutch, the whole bit.
Yeah. I don't disagree. That's my idol.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. And off the field, forget about it. Talk about a great American.
Way better than me.
Right?
Way better American.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space between Staubach and you. It's not like it's Staubach.
Oh, it's not even calculable. There's not.
Oh, man.
What people don't realize here is, so I'm on the East Coast covering, most of the East Coast. Provenzale is in the Dallas office. He gets to see the stuff come in on a daily basis and be at the, just chaos there and organized chaos, though. It's a good thing. But as you walk through the building, our new, basically a campus, like an Amazon campus, it's a huge building. And you get to, when you walk through, to the lunchroom or to the, to the front to go meet a client, you see so many cool things and other departments bringing in stuff. So it's a really cool place to work. We're hiring, actually, so you can always look on our website for jobs posted. But
and if you work in the Dallas office, you don't have to work with Derek, as he stated.
Oh, that is a bonus.
I think they put that in the ad, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's the byline at the bottom.
Yeah. work without Derek. Yeah.
So absolutely. Dallas is really the hub for heritage auctions, then, guys. Right?
That's our world headquarters. We have offices throughout the U.S. and Europe and Asia, but Dallas is where it all started, when it started in the 70s. And last year we moved into a giant, it's just massive. It's all one floor, which is a lot better. We used to be in an office building, but it's one long hallway with all 45 of our departments. So as you're walking through, you see amazing fantasy 15s, you see decorative arts, you see jewelry, you see dinosaur bones, all of it passing you by. So it's like Christmas morning every day.
Mike, tell us a little bit, Derek, obviously, as we talked about, feel free to jump in here and all that, but tell us what you do, what your title is. Derek's on with us a lot. We love it, but we don't have you on a lot. You've been on with us before. Tell us what you do at Heritage and your perspective on the business in 2021 and now heading into 2022.
My title is production manager, which is just vague enough for them to throw anything at me as far as responsibilities.
That's great. Yeah.
So I wear a lot of hats. I deal with clients. I put together our catalogs. I do our social media and our marketing. I handle special projects like the National. I put our booth together at the National every year. Yep. And anything.
Should I have asked you what you don't do?
Yeah, that would be a shorter list.
Yeah.
I don't think he writes lots. I don't think he does descriptions.
I do a few descriptions. I do the descriptions for NFTs.
NFTs. He's our NFT head of consignments for NFTs. There's no question.
If you're in the digital space, you probably already talked to me. But yeah, I've worked at Heritage for 15 years now. I just passed my 15-year anniversary. So I've it just keeps piling on. Anyone that's worked someplace
how'd you get here, Mike? What's your background?
I went to the University of Texas. I studied history, U.S. history, and I grew up in Dallas. So I came back here, was looking for a job, and just kind of applied out of nowhere. I thought I'd end up working in the history department, but they had a spot in sports, and I was a huge sports fan. I had collected, so I was excited, jumped in, and back then our sports department was about 8 people. We had about 4 racks of material, and now we have we sell over 60,000 items a year. We did over 200 million. So I came in at a good time. I'll say that. I really got to see it grow along with the industry itself.
So it's interesting because you're a history guy and you're a sports fan. I mean, this is like nirvana. This is like the ultimate, because of what we deal with on this show and with Collectables is history. It's sports history, and it's American history too. I mean, the history of sports, especially sports like baseball that go way back, it's American history too.
And we've been lucky at Heritage. We've gotten to see some items that should be in the Smithsonian that we were happy to represent and put them into personal collections. Jackie Robinson's 1947 game-worn rookie jersey. I was lucky enough to pick that up. That's the coolest item I've ever seen. And that, like you said, that's a piece of American history. That's museum quality right there. Yeah. So I love that aspect of it. I was always a big sports fan and dove deep into American history, and it's just kind of the two coming together.
Let's talk a little bit about both you guys, about what's coming up. You have your winter sports auction coming up end of the month. Give us the facts on that, what people can look forward to.
There's over 2,000 lots in there. Whatever, it's all cards. So cards are singles, sets, wax, all vintage, all age, all sports, non-sports as well. We've got some great non-sports stuff in there.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything and all price levels. Of course, we have 7 and 6 figure items, but we also have items, that are going to sell for a few $100s, a few $1,000s. So whatever you're looking for.
The highlights. Some of the highlights. We have the number 1 14 Cracker Jack set in the world, and the 14 Cracker Jacks are tougher than the 15s, and it's just they're going to be record shattered all over.
And if I'm not mistaken, people can go to ha.com right now and check out the lots, correct?
Oh, the auction is live, ready for bidding. It ends, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So, and the bidding is off and running. There's a Lajoie and a Mint 9 PSA. There's a 51 Bowman Mantle 8. Again, the rookies. There's great modern cards with Grady stuff. It's a little bit of everything like we try and do. I've always tried to build a catalog, with my team, having some 19th century the whole way up to the modern. And the modern's obviously taken off, and we've adapted to that, and we're getting in more and more modern. We just took in, this will be in our Platinum Night sale, and I'll let Pro tell you some of the highlights of our February Platinum Night sale that we're still building right now. Last minute consignments are coming in. We just took in a $500,000 modern collection that we just sent out for grading, mostly PSA, and just took that in with some really, low numbered cards, rare stuff that a guy had bought as an investment long time ago, 20 years ago, or, whatever, 10, 15 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago now. And, we're going to wait on some grades there, but a lot of that stuff's going to be in our Platinum Night. And it was all modern, $500,000 worth of modern cards. It's interesting, 10 or 20 screw downs and you take them out of the street, there's the cards. It's really, it doesn't have to be a 52 Mantle anymore or a Wagner card to get to $500,000 real quick.
Was were all these Cracker Jack cards from one collection, or is this from different sources?
Well, it's a PSA set. So what happened was somebody built the set.
Yeah.
Okay, and really, obviously, a wealthy person, because you're buying 6-figure cards to build the best set. Yeah. And we're offering it a card at a time, I believe, right, Mike? It's all one at a time.
It's a set break, and most of them are the highest graded or none higher. The Cobb is in an 8. That's one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen. Yeah. It's a fantastic collection and really hard to put together. So good chance for anybody that collects that to upgrade their collection. However nice your set is, there's definitely some that you can push your way up the registry yourself.
It's a great thing because I looked at them. There's some big names in there: Sam Crawford, Connie Mack, Eddie Collins, Home Run Baker, Tinker's in there. But if you're building a collection, much like Zapp did back in the day with his T206, you can plug some holes there. You can fill your collection with this.
Yeah, it's got all 144 cards. So, and they are all in fantastic condition, right at the top of the pop for nearly all of them. So, great way to push your way up the registry if that's what you're into.
What are the other wow items in this auction, Derek?
So let's go. Just as we talked about some of the Mantles, the Lajoie, some of the sets. But let's talk about our February Platinum Night auction, which is honestly one of the. So after the January auction, we'll be launching the February auction. We try and keep Provenzale busy, so we just keep adding auctions.
It's working.
Make sure he's working.
Well, he does everything, so
he seems to. Is what he says, right? But so he'll, this auction will get put to bed, and we'll have 500, 600, 700 different winners and thousands of lots being shipped. And here comes the February Platinum Night auction ready to launch. And I'll let Pro discuss some of the highlights. I haven't been down to Dallas.
Tell us about it, Mike, for sure.
Leading it off, we have an incredible Jackie Robinson collection from a single collector who spent a lot of time putting together some really unique Jackie Robinson items. And the big piece there is his 1946 baseball questionnaire, which he filled out right when he joined the Dodgers organization. And there's some incredible content in there, including when it asks the question, what's your ambition in baseball? It says to open the door for others. Here's a 26-year-old guy thinking about what he's about to do, what he's about to accomplish, and his thoughts on it is how it's going to help others. So that's incredible.
Was this the Dodgers? What Branch Rickey gave him to fill out?
It's when he joined the Dodgers organization in 46, right before he went to go play AAA ball in Montreal. So it's, one of the first documents he filled out, and, it's a personal questionnaire about him. So it has really great content from, American Icon, like we talked about. Other great items, we have some 86 Michael Jordan game worn Air Jordan 1s, which is very exciting. Those have become a piece of American history as well, especially the ones that were worn by His Airness. 1968 Mickey Mantle game worn jersey from his final season, last jersey.
Last year, right? Yeah,
last home run was hit in it. So great piece of history there. I saw yesterday we have an 1898 basketball trophy. It's the first professional trophy awarded for basketball for it's a really incredible piece. I've never seen anything like it. A true one of one, over 100 years old, representing the basketball champions. So cool piece. And we've had some amazing cards that are coming in for that as well. So the platinum auction is always exciting. There's a little bit of everything. We even have a historical item in there I saw yesterday, which is Jack Ruby's thumbprints after he was arrested. The sheet where they printed Jack Ruby when he was arrested after killing Oswald.
Oh, my Lord.
We have an Amelia Earhart photo matched pilot cap or whatever.
No
what
kidding.
They put on. Yeah. No,
the last cap she wore before her final voyage, which of course she never came back.
She's still alive, bro?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, she'd be dead by now.
I've got some theories I'll share with you after this about where she is right now. But that's the fun thing about working at Heritage is you see these amazing items, stuff I could never afford. But we also have a few things people like me can't afford. So it's the yin and the yang, and it's just a lot of fun.
Have you guys seen an uptick just doing the show? I think our guests have mentioned it more. We've asked more questions. An uptick in the interest in Robinson memorabilia, Jackie Robinson, over the last year or so. I've seen that.
Oh my
God! He's always been so popular, but as the industry's grown in the last 2 years, there's a lot of new people coming in. And both people who are just jumping in or people jumping back in. And Jackie Robinson's one of those iconic names where whether you're coming in to invest, that's a great investment. He's like gold. Or if you're just coming in because you want to collect and you are interested in it and you like the sport or history, Jackie Robinson's a great fit there as well. Incredible player and incredible person. So definitely, the high-end stuff has gone up, but also you've seen an uptick on the lower and mid-range stuff just because there's more bidders, and he's one of the most desirable athletes in the hobby.
What are the dates and the facts on the February, the Winter Platinum auction, guys?
So we're taking in consignments for a few more days. You can reach us at ha.com if you have something you'd like to be in the highlight event of the industry. And it's going to launch February 1st, and it closes the last weekend of February.
While I have you both here, I want you both to do this. We'll start with you, Derek. Reflect a little bit on 2021 and even 2020, which I know was a crazy year in life and in the hobby. And give me a little bit of a look ahead to this year. What do you see in the business? What do you see in the hobby? And you can also, you can relate it to Heritage as well.
I mean, unprecedented growth, whether it's at Heritage or throughout the industry. The stuff that used to be considered, in your junk stuff. There's a junk wax. There's no longer junk wax anymore. Some of the cards that used to be low, 5s and 4, just on Clemente rookies or Aaron rookies or Mays rookies, everything has shot up multiples. Like Provenzale, we talked about Jackie Robinson cards, oddball at Jackie Robinson cards, any Jackie Robinson cards, a rookie 49 Bowman and a 1 is over $1,000 now with a hole in it. I mean, just people want a piece of anything. We have an unprecedented number of new people. When I do shows, I am telling you, for 10 years, you'd do shows and you'd see the same people with an occasional new person here and there. Now you don't recognize. Now you can't. You used to be able to look down the aisles and see the whole way down. Now at the last Philly show, it was packed the whole way through Sunday. The last Long Island show I did, where it was a graveyard on Sunday, it ended up being Again, we stayed till the last minute. People were still giving us stuff on consignment. People were buying stuff. So there's more women, there's more minorities, there's more children, there's more. The hobby is expanded to include all, and it's awesome to see. And I think that's going to continue because people find it enjoyable. I was telling somebody the other day, I think we finally are the cool kids. I think Comic-Con.
Not you, Derek. Other people.
Yeah, not me.
That's
but
right.
Comic-Con has done something in comics. They have done something where Comic-Con has been it's almost like some insane festival that everybody wants to go to or see what's going on. And people get dressed up for it. We've been hearing about how great Comic-Con was. And I hear show promoters say, how do we do that? How do we make it like Comic-Con? Why are we not growing like that? A pandemic happened. I have no idea what transpired that people then decided, and Comic-Con's still amazing and comics have shot up too. But we're starting to get more and more people. And we don't have people dressed up in costumes yet at sports shows, but that would
Although
be fun.
Derek, maybe if you dressed up, that would help us.
That would start it.
I would like to see that.
That would start it, I think. If I wore a costume, or maybe Zappola wore a costume because he really needs to cover up his look. Okay, you could, maybe a George Washington or Ben Franklin or something. He kind of looks like that anyway.
He's a good match for Franklin, I think.
Franklin,
Ben
he'd be good.
Yeah. So
he's got the perfect hairline for it.
He does. He does.
He's
going on 80. So no, I think we're headed in the right direction. Now look, Fanatics just got into the business very aggressively with getting the license. They're going to bring more people in. I really think there's, again, not just the short-term investor that's going to lose their shorts at some point, because they will get, not everything goes up forever. Those people could come and go, but that's always happened. But I see so many more collectors, so many new people buying stuff. Pro would be able to tell you how many new people we sign up every auction. People crossing over from coins and comics to buying sports stuff.
Sure.
It's really cool. So I think the outlook is very good. I'm saying that based on fact, just not like because I'm in the business and I want it to be good. It's going to be, I think the national and all the shows are going to be still really good. And it's, our business, we keep adding auctions and adding employees to staff up to handle it.
Mike, give us your thoughts.
I would echo what Derek said. 2021 was a great year. It was great to get back out to shows and see people. And I spent a lot of time talking to new clients, both people just coming in for us, and then from other 45 departments, we had a lot of people that were comics collectors, jewelry collectors, history collectors who wanted to get involved in sports. And we do a lot of cross marketing with those collectors. We have the biggest collectors in every venue in our mailing list, and a lot of them wanted to talk about how they collect sports. And I like to talk to them about whatever they're into and learn a little bit about another venue. And the international clients, was a huge thing for us this year as well. People all over the world have started getting into sports collecting in a serious way. People with some serious money who see it as a real investment. We spend a lot of time cultivating those global relationships. So that's been very interesting, getting to meet new people that way. For 2022, I think it's going to increase. The base of people in the industry has grown. There's some great products coming out on the modern side that are keeping people interested. And I think people are only going to increase their interest in the vintage stuff. And we're just lucky we're in a position to give them the most information as possible so they can make educated decisions.
Do you guys plan out, I know you have obviously the January and February stuff coming up. How far ahead do you plan out auctions and things like that before we go to break?
The full year. We have the full year.
So really? Okay, you do. Okay.
But we always add because we have a lot of one-off collectors who want to sell a set or their whole collection, and we can give them, they can have their own catalog and their own auctions. So we add those throughout the year, but our main catalogs are 2 platinum auctions, which are in the winter and the summer, our 2 huge catalogs, which are in May and November, and then our card auctions, which are in January and July, are always set. And then we just add to it.
Mike, we want to thank you for joining us. Mike Provenzale from Heritage Auctions. All the stuff we talked about, go to ha.com. All the info is there. It's a tremendous website, sports, non-sports, coins, the whole bit. Derek's going to hang in with us for our final segment. We're going to throw around some sports stuff. We're going to take a little break right here on Great American Collectibles Show and be right back.
Bye, Pro.
Bye, guys. Pleasure.
Bye, Mike.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we are proud to have them as the official trading card company of the Great American Collectibles Show. Panini leads the way in innovation and design with great brands like Donruss, Prism, Contenders, Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate. Partnering with the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball Players Association, NASCAR, FIFA, and college, Panini is certainly at the head of the hobby. You can find Panini products in major retailers like Walmart and Target, or online at icollectpaniniamerica.com. That's Panini America. Who do you collect?
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Let's go! Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petrocelli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Sarah found out camping... What was that? Wasn't her thing. So she eBay forwarded her tent to Tom, who just had to get out of his house. But Tom needed road trip money, so he eBayed the crock pot he never used to Steve, who wanted to turn the heat up on date night. But Steve needed counter space, so he sold his decanter.
Thought it was a vase.
To Sarah, who'd found a new outdoor hobby.
Hints of red.
eBay. Sell something and make room for something new.
And that's right. eBay is the place to go, Derek, for all of your memorabilia, sports or non-sports cards, autographs, and much more. Whether it's a gift for that special someone or you just want to add to your collection, eBay's huge marketplace should be your first stop. And if you sell, now's the time to flip those cards and get some extra cash. I shop on eBay all the time. That's eBay, connecting buyers and sellers. Oh, listen, I'm going to throw out a little trivia question here. I didn't want to do it earlier in the show because I want to give people less time to cheat and look it up on the internet. But we talked about John Madden earlier, and Zap will be monitoring the show as this airs on Wednesday.
Oh,
so
great.
He'll take care of you with a prize. I don't know what the prize is. Probably
It's going to be worse than ever, I'm sure.
It's going to be a terrible prize. But anyway,
terrible.
We talked about John Madden. His Raiders in the 1976 season went 13-1. They only lost one game that whole year, regular season. And of course, they won in the playoffs, winning the Super Bowl. Who was the only team to beat the Raiders in 1976? That's the question. It's an easy one. If you know it off the top of your head, I'll be impressed. You can look it up. But the only team to beat the only team to beat the Oakland Raiders in the 1976 season.
I'm going to say the Patriots just because you're a homer. Am I wrong?
All right. So you just gave away the answer. So now people can't chime in.
Well, you'd asked me the question. What was I supposed to do?
No, it's for trivia. It's for the people watching. So I'm going to add a part two. I'm going to add a part two. Okay. In the playoffs, I mentioned it earlier. In the playoffs, the Raiders played the Patriots and they beat them on a horrible roughing the passer call near the end of the game. What was the name of the official that called roughing the passer on the Patriots? Boston fans will know this. It's like he's one of those guys like Bucky Dead. I'm going to throw it up. The name of the referee that called roughing the passer, basically handing the playoff game to the Raiders in the 1976 playoffs. All right? Since Derek wrecked the first question.
I thought you were asking me the question, and I had but anyway, it's all right.
We are on the Great American. This is the Great American. It took me this long to insult you. That's pretty good, don't you think?
It did. Yeah, that's a record. Well, Zap is in the first minute of the show usually, so yeah,
Dave
we've gone a long time.
Dave just texted me. He thought it might be Tom Zappala was the name of the ref that called roughing the passer.
He would do some boner thing for sure. He would have been involved in some, what was the Mookie? It was Bill Buckner. That would have been Zap.
Listen, let's I want to do two things in the time we have left. One, you don't have to give me 5 or 6, whatever. But I talked about Jackie Robinson, popularity of Robinson. We know the regulars, the Mantles, the Roots, guys like that. Is there a modern or vintage player or card or item that you think might score higher in 2022 maybe than in the past? Interest. We threw this question to Joe Tomasula last week on the show. Your thoughts on maybe some player that might emerge this year?
I don't want to go. The modern guys, still anything can happen, and I think so many of those modern guys like Mike Trout are overpriced. But
I do too.
I still believe, and again, I have him as my second greatest player of all time is Willie Mays, and I think compared to Mantle, Willie Mays. And he's getting up there in years, and he was supposed to die for several years now. And I don't think people are going to truly appreciate him for some. I mean, look, a lot of people appreciate him, but where he still has room to grow. His stuff should be as high or more than Mantle. I think Mays is still undervalued the whole way across the board. And I mean, he was just an incredible fielder, hitter, everything, speed, could do everything. And I think he's undervalued, and then people will, there's lots of other Hall of Famers that, the Hall of Fame rookie cards of some of the guys, hey, we mentioned Brooks Robinson, how about the greatest third baseman defensively anyway? And maybe Schmidt was the greatest offensive one, but some of these 100-year guys that are on the 100th anniversary team.
Right.
Ted Williams is probably undervalued, one of the greatest hitters of all time. He's still undervalued, believe it or not, especially where this modern stuff is. How about if you look at GOATs, Johnny Bench was the greatest catcher of all time. Is his stuff high enough for being the greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah.
I think you can find, look what just happened with, I guarantee you without even looking, Jim Cott's cards went up, Gil Hodges' cards went up. People that should be Minoso, people that should be in the Hall of Fame that finally get in, or you could argue, well, they are in, whether you believe they should be or not. I believe Thurman Munson, it's a tragedy that Thurman Munson for a decade was one of the best catchers, won an MVP, a Rookie of the Year, a couple of championships, was captain of the Yankees. And other than Bench, him and Bench were the catchers, Fisk, Bench, Munson. I mean, how is Munson? He dies in a plane crash. How was he not in? He had a 10-year career. I asked Hal Steinbrenner that question. He didn't have an answer. He thought maybe it's a Yankee, there's so many Yankees in, but that's in the 70s. I don't know. He was the captain of the Yankees. Championships, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Gold Gloves. What did he do?
I think one of the things with that is that you talk about the Yankee thing. That was such a quick, 77, 78, they won those Yankee teams, right? So you're in between the Mantles, back in the 60s, and they had some down years, and then you're a few years away from the reemergence after Steinbrenner got out of the way.
It gets lost.
So I think you get lost in the shuffle there, I think you do.
But if you can predict,
Boston, there were some great Celtics teams in the mid 70s, and I think they got lost.
They did.
The Russells of the 60s.
100% they did. That's a great point, because I forget kind of about those guys.
JoJo White, Dave Cowens, that team.
Yeah, and they ended up JoJo White ended up in the Hall of Fame. He should have been sooner, but he didn't get in as early as he normally should have. So, I mean, if you can think about guys that are going to get into the Hall of Fame before they do, because everybody was saying that Gil Hodges should be in. A lot of people thought that Jim Cott should be in. Well, they eventually got in, and now their stuff is going up because of that.
Yeah. We have a couple minutes left, Eric, and I think those are some great names. One guy I always think about when we do these shows is Pete Rose. And I know he has the gambling thing, and I know he's not getting in the Hall of Fame, and I think the steroid guys have a better chance taking into the Hall of Fame than Pete Rose does. Where is his – and I know that he's – Pete just puts himself out there. He's always hawking something. He doesn't probably help his cause.
He doesn't help his cause.
Where are his collectibles right now, Derek?
People still love his stuff. I mean, I have a Rose bat, a Rose jersey. Of course, I'm going to have it. I have a signed rookie card. Again, he's infamous. And he should be in the Hall of Fame based on his numbers. Let's just say that. Okay, Joe Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame. Rose has just been a jackass, for lack of better terminology.
He has.
Because he'll sign anything. I broke up the Beatles. I shot JFK. I was the first one to outer space. He'll write anything you want on a baseball. I don't know if he's still doing. I mean, I just saw him at the Philly show. He's signing. He's like 80 now. But he's still out there. He doesn't go away. But he's. His flannel jerseys, his rookie card. I see people paying over 80, 100 grand for a rookie card in 9. Still very collectible. It's just he's kind of nauseating to me at this point, because he's just the way he is. But I do think another great value is if you believe this is going to happen in front of our eyes. When Bonds gets in, when Clemens gets in, those Fleer Update Clemens cards, those rookie cards on Clemens, the game worn stuff, all that stuff will go up. And he is getting in. He was one of the greatest pitchers to ever play. Clemens is getting in. Bonds is getting in at some point. I don't know when, but when they do, their stuff is going to go up. So if you think it's going to happen, you should be buying some of their stuff. And it's not that expensive, to be quite honest.
Derek, this has been great, man. It was so great to have you on.
Oh, we've had fun.
Mike on. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay,
man.
good.
No doubt. Derek Grady, Heritage Auctions. Yeah, absolutely, man.
No zap, and it worked.
Listen, he's sunning himself. We just keep going. We do the show, right?
Well, hopefully he's not topless. Hopefully he has clothes on, so he's not horrifying the people at the beach.
Or you never know, for that matter. But anyway, Derek Grady, Heritage Auctions, Mike Provenzale from Heritage. Thanks for joining us, Derek. You fill in anytime, my man. It was great. This is the Great American Collectibles Show. Once again, just remember, Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, part of the United Podcast Network. You can find us on PSA Facebook, our own Facebook page, iHeartRadio, Alexa, Spotify. Go to YouTube, subscribe, like us. We need to be liked. We really do.
We do.
John Molori, Derek Grady, so long, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21, Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.